We are live.
We are. We did it.
Well, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Nick. How are you today?
Doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Everybody, you're listening to the Investor Shed podcast. It is live February 3rd. And when we put this podcast out for real, post-production, it'll be quite a few months out.
June? Not June. We're not that far ahead.
Maybe in mid-April, I think.
Yeah. And this is all live, like we said. So the mistakes Nick and I make live, congratulations. You're getting them live on Facebook, too.
We don't cut out mistakes anymore.
Yeah, no. This is, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit because that's how my dad raised me.
You get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Yeah. Speaking of getting
like a rap
fits,
outfit.
It does sound like a rap outfit?
Yeah.
Or a rapper?
Like a lyric.
Oh, okay.
But like an outfit, like this is how we do.
An outfit, I think of an outfit like an outfit.
An outfit has many meanings.
Got it.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I don't know enough about rap outfits, apparently. But today we're going to be talking about just kind of what we're up to. I know Nick's got a cool couple of projects he's been working on, so I think we're going to do a deep dive into those. And
like real estate investing?
Oh, you like real estate investing? Do you like it?
I think it's okay. I'm addicted,
Yeah.
I guess you could say. Like I've been trying to not do projects, and then I've just gotten back into it.
Yeah.
Got back to old habits.
You're like a project magnet though. Like even like when you're like, I think you play the hard to get card sometimes. You're like, I don't want to do anything, and then deals just come to you, and you're like, it would be stupid of me not to do this deal.
They're bags of money.
Yeah, here's a bag of money. Do you want it?
Yeah. That's the way I view it. Like some of these opportunities that come by, you're just like, all right, I told you I don't want a project. I told you I don't want a project outside of town. But there's a bag of money sitting on the ground. And I just got to walk over and just pick it up.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like I've been doing the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And got to tell you, it feels pretty good.
Yeah. Are you doing a lot of partnerships lately, or are these just deals that are just coming to you specifically, or what are you doing?
Less partnerships than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I'm used to, I usually have a partnership on like everything I do, except for like, this is definitely a rental.
Right.
But for the last couple of months, I've purchased 2 properties.
Okay.
Where I have no partners.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's got its perks.
There you go. Yeah.
It's got its perks where I don't have to get permission from anybody or a consensus from a group.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, just want to run this by you. What about pricing it here? What do you think about doing the kitchen this way? What do you think about not doing anything? I'm just going to throw it on the market. You know, all those things
Sure.
where you got to run by your partners and stuff. And it's just like, I'm kind of not used to having a fix and flip.
Right.
Where I'm not bouncing ideas off anyone.
Sure.
And I'm just doing what I want to do. And then when it comes to like just about to close on one that I've already done and fixed up, and it's got a buyer. But just going through the escrow process too was a breeze. Just not having to check in with anybody about the offer that we got or how I want to respond to it, what kind of repairs I'm willing to do.
Right.
It's just kind of nice to like not have anybody that I have to report to.
Sure.
Then again, you know, I've got to fund the whole thing. Figure out ways to, you know, have a funding partner that's a little bit more risk, you know, because it's not spread around. So there's give and takes.
Sure.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And then, just closed on Friday.
Okay.
Today's Monday. Just closed on Friday on a house in Bonners Ferry.
Okay,
that, cool. I have no real hard plans on yet what I'm doing to it.
But it's a bag of money sitting there.
It's a bag of money. Yeah. I've picked up the bag of money, and I'm not sure where I want to deploy it.
Yeah,
how I want to play with it.
You want to figure out like how much does this bag actually weigh?
Yeah, and I haven't even gone there yet.
Okay.
I mean,
Wow.
I went there before I bought it, but I closed on it on Friday, and I think the wholesaler is still waiting for me to pick up a key. I was planning on going out there this weekend, but we had other plans. But it's kind of nice to know that like if I had a partner on that deal, that partner probably would not be happy with me that I still don't have a plan.
Sure.
What I want to do with this property.
I think it depends on the partnership. Yeah.
I still don't have a plan on what I want to do with it, and it's already been a couple of days that I've just been burning the clock a little bit, but it hasn't been a high priority. It's a lower purchase price.
Sure.
Holding cost isn't crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to take my time to actually figure out do I really want to keep this property long term?
Right.
I think I do, or should I just fix and flip it, or should I just throw it on the market since I got such a killer deal on it and not even go back up there?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's kind of nice to not have a partner in that aspect, just so that I can take my time and really think about what I want to do with it.
So you're valuing where your time's at in this situation, right? Like, do I fix and flip it? Do I put it on the market? Do I keep it as a rental? Yep. What's cool is like you bought a good enough deal, and I think we should go into the numbers on this one for anyone who is interested in what Bonners Ferry flips can go for. I just think it's interesting that, like, yeah, I mean, this wasn't a project that you wanted to take on necessarily, but again, like, you see an opportunity,
Yeah.
and the opportunity makes sense, and you were able to fund it yourself. Great. That's the definition of real estate investing, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then I'll give you another, before we dive too deep into that one, I got under contract with another fix and flip in Hayden. And this thing is a massive project, and I wouldn't have been able to pick it up without a partner doing the construction, you know, because it's a very large, heavy, it's going to be a heavy construction project in Hayden. And we're buying with tighter margins. But, you know, my brother Sean, we've fixed and flipped homes for over 10 years now.
Right.
And I know his capabilities. He knows mine.
Yeah.
And he really wanted to go after this one. He knows that the margins are a little bit slimmer, but the property has all kinds of goodies that he wants on it. Like there's a sawmill that he's going to get to take, which is worth some money. There's a couple vehicles on the property that he can have fun with.
Is there any skill saws?
There's there might be skill saws
because you already have a half custody.
There's a lot of saws.
Okay.
There's like, you know, leftover miter saws and stuff. The house is full of junk, like normal.
Right.
There's ladders. We always get ladders.
Ladders are nice. I do like that about doing stuff.
The property has a lot of weird sex stuff going on. There's penis extenders.
Extenders?
Yep. There's beds.
Are they like new? Do you have any extras, or are they used? I'll wash it out. But I'd prefer when
I doubt they're used and you can have them.
Perfect. I doubt they're used.
They might be out of the package and a little dirty, but
nothing a little bleach can't fix.
Exactly. Just throw it in the dishwasher.
I think they are dishwasher safe. Not that I know that, but
right.
Yeah.
It's funny, and it's funny too walking through some of these houses. Like this house, I posted just a small little clip on Facebook of me like in one of the downstairs bathrooms, and it's just like it's a mirrored room, and the toilet.
Was this the
toilet
one?
And the bathtub is elevated?
I saw that. That was a very cool bathroom. I would love that. It feels like you're in a spaceship almost when you're pooping. It feels like you're like on a platform, and there was like windows above you, right?
Yeah, and you can mirrors. The whole room.
Like. I want to poop in a spaceship bathroom. That sounds incredible.
And you can roll off the toilet into a little bathtub. But just outside that room, I didn't really go into. There's a bed out there in the basement with straps. For strapping people down. On the bed,
which can either be sex stuff or dangerous other things.
And throughout the whole house, there was Nicorette gum everywhere.
Yeah,
like tons of it.
Wow,
an insane amount of Nicorette gum. So people were getting really frisky on Nicorette gum.
Isn't that what you're supposed to chew when you want to stop smoking?
And imagine all the sex toys that he left with, too.
Right. He took his favorite top 10
He took his top 10 before he left.
Wow. So it's full of junk sex toys and saws and tools, right?
Yeah, and a bunch of unpermitted buildings that have to be taken down.
Any magic cards?
Not in this one that I saw, but I didn't go into it.
You let me know.
Found a couple guns.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
What do you do with the guns?
Well, that's part of my partnership with Sean is like he does have the heavier load of work to do.
Right.
I'm more just like managing finances and kind of telling him what to do and kind of orchestrating materials and the financing.
I'm assuming you bought it with your money. Sean's doing the renovation.
I bought it with hard money.
Yeah, you bought it with hard money, but you use your money or leverage or whatever. For
I figured out how to put the loan together.
Sean is usually the construction partner, which is great. Yeah, he's typically not the money guy.
He's got the dump trailer and he's got a couple goons that can help him get a lot of work done.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, but like with the guns and stuff, like, I mean, is he going to keep those? I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're just guns.
Yeah.
I mean, it's North Idaho. It's not anything has to be registered or anything. They're just little like 22.
Oh, cool.
And like a Ruger 22 revolver.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat.
Nice.
And then some like handmade rifles. You can tell somebody made them. Whatever. It's not important.
No. But so Sean's looking forward to, going through it and kind of picking out what he wants and then obviously dumping the rest, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this project was really, it's really labor heavy. So I knew if I did this without any partners, I'm not going to make much and it's going to be a ton of work.
Right.
A lot of time of mine would be spent doing, I've become a contractor basically.
Right.
A low paid contractor.
You got to be very careful
if I took this
when doing
deal on my own.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not equipped to do as much as I think I am sometimes.
Right. And you're a pretty dang busy dude as it is. Like you don't need a third and fourth job on top of being a full-time dad, full-time real estate agent investor, you don't need to be swinging a hammer.
Yeah.
It's not your best use of time.
So actually the deal I made with Sean on this one, because I recognized it was going to be, if we just did our standard 50-50, which we've done on 90% of our deals, in my head, I'm just like, slightly unfair, because I made it pretty clear, I'm not doing the work, bro.
Right.
I'm just going to make sure that this deal happens.
Yeah.
And you don't have to bring a penny to it. You just show up and get the job done. So I made it more of a 60-40.
So 60 for Sean, 40 for you?
60 for Sean, 40 for me. I thought that was a little fair, and he's good with that.
Yeah.
Because the margin's not going to be huge either. I think we're only going to make 60 grand or something like that.
Yeah.
For that kind of price point, like our resale price point is going to be 550 to 600, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So the 60,000 is more like a rough guess, conservative. That's about what we should make.
And you said it's a heavy renovation. Walk me through like the state of the house right now and what you plan on doing with it, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. It is a rancher with a full basement.
Okay.
And it's on almost a half acre in Hayden.
Nice.
And it's got a shop in the backyard, but it's in really poor condition.
Sure.
And then there's many other buildings that were built over the last decade, all out of compliance.
Right.
The funny thing about this house is I've bought a property from this same owner before.
Okay.
And the same shit was going on with the other house. He just builds, he gets a lot of metal and wood and likes to build his own properties, not within the setbacks and completely out of code. And he likes little rooms above these buildings for hookers to come in or whatever. Like there's little rooms of like carpeted
to chew Nicorette gum.
Nicorette gum. Yeah, there's definitely a party going on
Well,
with these weird buildings that I'm scrappy. I'd love to salvage buildings. People love their outbuildings here, but these all need to be torn down.
Right. So that's a cost you have to think about, right?
It's weeks of demo.
Yeah.
Weeks of demo. And Sean, fortunately, has a big old dump trailer.
Right.
And it's perfect for this kind of work because a lot of there's definitely dump fees going to be involved.
Oh, yeah.
But the majority of it's just the labor. It's a lot of unscrewing metal and throwing stuff in, like recycling versus going to the dump. A lot of that stuff, and cleaning up the yard is a huge thing. But also, the inside needs a full remake too.
Yeah, okay.
The inside, we're going to have to turn. It's kind of like a weird. There's a bathroom downstairs that's completely we have to gut and redo.
Is that the one with the bathroom that leads up the stairs and the mirror room? Okay.
Yeah, and then most of that basement's kind of unfinished. We're going to have to build a couple of bedrooms downstairs and remodel a whole bathroom. And then upstairs, we're going to have to there's 3 rooms, but half of a room was taken. That's like kind of a half spa room, half laundry. It's also very weird.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hey, quick commercial break here. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I really do appreciate it. If you want to give back, let me help you buy a house, or I can help you sell a house. It's the only way I make money when I'm not investing in real estate. I don't make money on this podcast or the events I do, but I do make money only when I help people buy and sell houses. So if you're looking for your next investment and you're here in North Idaho, I want to help you personally. If you are not in North Idaho, I can still help you out. I have a vast network of referral partners all across the country, and I can find the right real estate investor savvy agent for you so you don't have to. It doesn't cost you a thing. Thank you for your support. Back to the show. Okay. And we have to demo the spa. We're going to separate the laundry. We're going to add another bath. We're going to take one of the bedrooms upstairs, and it's going to become a 2-bedroom upstairs with 2 baths.
Okay.
A bath off the hallway and a full master suite.
Sure. Okay.
And then downstairs, a couple of bedrooms and another bathroom. So we'll make it a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home.
Cool.
With a shop in the backyard and a nice, like, empty backyard with a new fence, and try to have it like nice green grass.
For sure. Now go ahead. Sorry.
Try to get like a real clean slate for a big family that needs something under 600 grand.
Yeah.
That
Can't market to families.
That you want everything. Yeah, exactly. But the goal, and we'll demo the kitchen. We'll do all new kitchen and everything too.
Cool. So as it sits, it's a 3-2.
As it sits, it's a 3-bedroom, kind of a dysfunctional 1.5.
Okay.
I guess you can call the bedroom or the bathroom downstairs a bathroom, but it's really a circus show.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. And so you said that the shop in the backyard, obviously you're going to Do you have to demo the whole shop and build a new shop? Is that part of your renovation costs?
We're going to gut it and clean it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the shop is actually up to code.
Shop. I mean, it looked okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That one was built prior to them moving in.
Gotcha.
You can see the old listing from 10 years ago and see what the house looked like. And it's like, okay, we need to bring the shop back to what it looked like 10 years ago. And then maybe we can concrete the floor.
Right.
So there's going to be some work, a lot of patchwork.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll try to make it look as professional as we can.
And you said you bought another house from this this owner previously. Was this your one on
Gleason? Do you remember this one on Gleason? Yeah. So that was also in Hayden.
Yeah.
And same type of property too. It was like a rancher with the full basement.
Yeah.
A big old lot. And we tore down in the backyard. We tore down everything.
Yeah.
But he built everything back there, and we had to tear it down.
Gotcha.
It was just bad.
Was those the people you had to evict?
Yeah, I had to do an eviction on that house.
Yeah. Was it owner occupied at the time?
He moved out, but he just had a bunch of tenants. He had a bunch of tenants. Tenants in quotes,
right?
Living there.
Yeah. They were kind of
just a bunch of people, and they all got paid to leave, and then one guy didn't leave.
Yeah,
he got his money, and he just stayed there, and I had to do a formal eviction. Yeah, only time I ever had to do a formal eviction that went all the way to meeting the sheriff there. And watching that happen.
See, when you said like this property has all these shops and stuff, for some reason I thought it was like your 4-unit in Coeur d'Alene, whatever.
Yeah, not that. Yeah.
What street's that on?
That one's off Homestead. I've had that for a long time.
I thought that's what I was thinking of. Like that sounds kind of Frankenstein.
Yeah, it went through the eviction process, but never had to complete it because the owners that. So these were the owners,
right,
that just decided to stay, and never move out, and then they broke into another section of the property. Yeah, when they broke into this other section, we were able to get them on trespassing, and got to avoid the whole eviction process at that point.
Sure. So this project in particular, you mentioned an ARV of 550 to 600.
Yeah.
What are you purchasing? What's your purchase price?
355.
355? Yep. Using hard money, I'm assuming?
We are.
Yep.
Yeah.
How much renovation do you need?
About 60,000.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
What was your down payment?
0.
I love real estate investing. I love it. I love it.
Well, actually, no, I take that back. We're getting a loan for 355. I just put $5,000 earnest money down. I probably won't recover the whole thing at closing because there's going to be some closing costs.
Sure.
So probably $2,500 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I won't have payments for 6 months. So if we can get the job done within 6 months, then we'll be good. Now, the construction money, I'm coming up with that,
right,
but
that's
I have
out of your
credit
pocket,
lines and stuff that I can use for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. So your plan is to get it done in 6 months, right before summer hits, probably?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, try to probably get a lot of it done. I bet you within 2 months, it will look like it's almost done, and then it will take another month to finish.
Yeah. And then
a big project like
couple
that.
months
And then
to sell.
Depending on the weather and stuff, like I really want that backyard looking nice.
Sure.
We might have to do sod.
You sod of a bitch.
You sod of a bitch. Yeah, I just don't think we can get grass.
There's nothing wrong with sod. Like I think it's like functional for what it is.
It's great. It's just expensive.
Yeah, you roll it out. Unfortunately, that's a cost sometimes. Like, do you want a nice yard to look nice so you can sell the house faster, or do you want a dirty, shitty yard?
It'll pay for itself.
100%.
It's just hard for me to pay for more expensive grass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you need to get that out of your head because I think if you, how much is sod compared to just laying down seed? First of all.
Oh, it's at 5 times the cost probably.
Okay.
Because I would lay down the seed myself, and I have a seed spreader, and I go to Lowe's, and you buy the seed for like $50 to $100, depending on how big the bag is. Right. But sod is, 5 times that. Yeah, at least.
That's what we did in our pre-flip.
Probably a little bit more. I mean, we're talking about the difference is spending maybe $200 on seed and $2,000 on sod.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I guess, I mean, that's something like if you're doing flips like this is an expense I would be thinking about in my head, right?
But there's other things to consider too. It's like you can't just lay sod down.
Right.
You also there's got to be topsoil.
Right.
So that's half the job too, is getting topsoil in the backyard and spreading all that out. And it's a very big yard. So it's just very labor intensive.
Sure. But you're not doing any labor on this one.
Right. Yeah. We've got people to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't, we're not going to have to bring in a landscaping company for this.
Right.
We just got to plan to do it ourselves and plan to spend that money on the materials.
Yeah, so the plan is 60-40, obviously you and your brother. Now your brother, he's going to be paying all of his labors out of his own pocket, correct?
No, I'll be paying them.
Okay, so you're paying the laborers too?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a good deal for him.
Yeah, but he will be there leading the charge. If he's not there, things don't get done.
Right.
And then that's where we usually have our small conflicts, but he's on the same side.
Right.
Like
Yeah. You guys are on the same team for sure. But I think like, with him running his own business and you running your own business, like you have to figure out what's priority number one.
Yeah. If I just allowed Sean to do it, we would spend more in holding costs.
You're 100% right.
Than we would hiring a couple of guys for, $20 to $40 an hour.
Sure.
If they're good.
Yeah.
To also for him to lead. You do this while I do this, and you do that.
Yeah.
And when you can get a team of 3 people, you can get so much more done than if you had one person there the whole time.
Divide and conquer. 1,000% on that. Yeah, and that's a cheap labor cost, right? These are all just costs that you factored in to what you're going to make after your profits, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's right. Yeah, and holding costs, you got to figure that in,
right.
And utilities and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
When I say holding costs, I'm mostly talking about interest payments.
Right. Hard money
Those
payments.
are the big. That's your biggest expense when you're doing flips this way.
For sure. But again, like the way you analyze these deals, like you've put this all into your calculator, and then it spits you out a number like, all right, we should be needing 60,000 for reno, and we should profit 60,000 roughly, right?
And I still use the exact same spreadsheets that are available on our website.
Yeah,
by the way.
NorthIdahoREI.com.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Click on free tools. There's a rehab calculator, and that's one I use for my fix and flips.
Yeah.
And it's great because on one page you can put in your acquisition cost, and you can break it down as detailed as you want. Your acquisition cost. You can put in your renovation costs, your labor and materials, or you can fill out the whole. And this is all on the side of the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
But you can also just print this off and take it to a project because every scope of work is kind of on this spreadsheet for you to consider.
It's a good spreadsheet for sure.
Flooring and paint and all this stuff. So you can fill it in on this side, or you could just roughly, I'm going to spend 50 grand. So you put it there. Yeah. And then how many months of acquisition do you have? You kind of put in your math there for how many, interest payments you think you'll make, your taxes, your insurance, your lawn care, those kind of holding expenses.
Yeah.
And then all your selling cost and your purchase price, what you think you should be able to sell it for. When you put that in there, it automatically takes off an average commission and title, closing, and escrow fees too. And it even throws in a buyer concession too now.
Yeah.
So it's just automatically figuring that you're going to pay 2.5% or something like that to a buyer because we're in that kind of a market.
We are. Yep.
And then at the bottom in a little yellow line, it will say your potential profit or loss.
Right.
And if it doesn't have a negative number, it's positive.
So if it's a negative number, don't buy the flip.
Yeah. Well, some people are really bad with math. You got to be careful because somebody can throw in a bunch of numbers and they're glancing and they're like, "Oh, cool, make 20 grand on this maybe," but they don't realize it's a negative because it's kind of hard to see sometimes. You just got to just pay attention.
Yeah. Can you make it so when it shows negative, it shows red, like it pops up hey, by the way, this is a don't know.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
Probably should fix that one
should
day.
do a how-to video on how to actually run that calculator too and put it on the website. I think that.
I think it's pretty obvious for most people.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Right. It's just another piece of content for people to be like, oh, he's actually meaning to provide value with me. Mm-hmm. So this obviously is priority kind of number one going forward, and your Bonner's Ferry is, priority 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, it's probably priority 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to sit around and not do anything for a long time.
Right.
It's just nice to have that luxury to not have any pressure from anybody, which is also a bad thing too sometimes.
Sometimes you need to have somebody
a little
over
accountability.
Your shoulder.
Yeah. But it's great to be able to really take my time. Do I want to keep this or not? Usually I should know by now within minutes if I want to keep something or not.
Sure.
I think I do. And that's why I want to take my time to figure out what's the most appropriate steps for renovating this property.
Right.
Should I go all out or should I just do the minimum?
Right.
Because if I just did the minimum, it might actually work in my favor versus going all out because I've been really taking my time there. It's got this old radiator, the boiler system for heat in the house, with those big, those radiators in each room. But they're all working. I tested that. So it's do I really want to tear all that out and spend 10 grand doing an HVAC system when you have a perfectly good working system already? Just because
it's Bonner's Ferry.
And it's is that how much value is that going to change? And then, you talk to your insurance guys and you realize, wow, shoot, if I do swap that out, that can save me almost $3,000 a year. No, sorry, not $3,000 a year. I'm talking over 5 years. I think the difference, like the actual insurance premium was like around $2,000 for that little house a year, which is, 3 or 4 times more than an average premium.
Sure.
And a lot of it has to do with that old system that, and the roof might need attention and stuff.
Right.
So there's some things that I'm like, do I want to just replace the roof completely, or can I do some patchwork and paint it because it's a metal roof?
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I just want to take my time, and there's a possibility I can spend as little as maybe 10 to 15 grand.
Yeah.
To make this a very nice, livable rental. And just take care of all the problems, and then it's very functioning, and then I'm only in it 150 grand.
Yeah.
Versus being in it almost 200 grand and just going all out on
Sure.
this house, and maybe the value only gets bumped. If you put $60,000 worth of improvements in it, maybe it only gets bumped 30 grand.
Right. That's something you got to think
what
about.
I got to really, and if I'm flipping it, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just something I'm still not 100% sure exactly what I want to do. It's also on a big lot.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to just have some property out there too. If I had it as a rental, I can put a fence down the middle.
Yeah.
And I can basically use the other lot as a recreation. I can run some, RV hookups and stuff like that. And it's right next to the river.
Yeah.
So it could be like our own little family hangout once in a while if we ever want to hang out in Bonners Ferry and just have that. Or you could just rent that out separately.
You could, yeah.
Or maybe build an ADU on it someday when...
Yeah, so you've got a couple
but
options.
I could just hold on to it for a long time.
Yeah.
Or I can actually go through the process of doing a real subdivision, split the lot, and then just hold on to the lot and then just flip the house. So there's so many things that I could do with this property since I got it at such a good price.
Right.
And I'm just not at the point where I know exactly what I want to do with it yet.
Yeah, and you use hard money on this one as well, correct?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
What's your hard money payment on it?
Well, I don't have any payments for 6 months.
Yeah, once a payment comes in, what's your monthly payment on this? Because it seems like a lower purchase price on this one, correct?
Yeah, so I got a loan for $140. I bought it for $137 and 2 Xboxes.
That's right. We talked about that last week.
And I got a $600 check when I went to close on the property.
So basically paid for your Xboxes.
Exactly,
Right.
plus $200.
Yeah.
So it paid for the exactly. It paid for the Xboxes. That's funny.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
Yep, that's kind of a funny negotiation.
Yeah. We talked
So
about
I
it
dealt with
already.
2 wholesalers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I forgot where I was going with
So
that.
what's your interest payment?
What's the payment? I think, I would imagine it's going to be around $1,400 a month.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And the question I'm asking is like, how much renovation does it need, or is it in pretty good shape?
Yeah, so that's the thing. I can spend as much money as I want to on this property. I think the minimum I'm going to have to spend is around 15 grand.
Okay.
If I spend 15 grand on it and it looks nice and like the interior's been painted, the exterior's been painted, the roof is like in good shape, the HVAC works.
Yeah.
And I've maybe swapped out the kitchen countertops. I think that property could be worth like $250.
Cool. What do you think it would rent for, like in its current condition?
I haven't checked into that yet.
Okay, that's where I was trying to ask.
Yeah.
Like, does this deal make good enough sense where you could just rent it out on hard money, and then like once you start making payments on your hard money, just refinance into a lower interest payment?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, there's just not enough comps in Bonners Ferry.
It's true.
I wanted to figure that out right away, and I just don't want to guess. I guessed I'd probably be almost breaking even.
Plus the tax write-offs and everything you get for having a rental and
Yep. Yep. So, still unsure. I'll have to find like a local property management company up there and get a good idea.
For sure.
That's part of my additional, not sure what I want to do with it yet.
Yeah.
I would imagine that if I got close to $1,500 a month, it will still it won't cash flow.
No.
But it should pay for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in real estate, like you don't need like Bonners Ferry is not it's not an appreciation market, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't even know if it's like a cash flow market. It's kind of like it feels like a neutral to me in a lot of areas.
So, but another important thing that I've got to consider and like keep reminding myself is, hey, asshole, you're going to have 100 grand of equity in this property. And if you do keep it as a rental, just because you think it'd be cool to, maybe use some of the yard here and there, is that really worth tying up 100 grand of equity?
It's true.
To not cash flow?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Like that Hayden property I bought last year. That thing didn't cash flow much, but it did incredible for my taxes.
Yeah.
It definitely worked in a taxable play, but there wasn't $100,000 of equity there.
Right.
There was like 30 or so.
Can't even really tap into it.
Yeah. So can I get a better use out of $100,000? Probably. So I'm probably gonna flip it.
Yeah.
If I really think about it logically.
Right.
Because I can take that $100,000 and I can get better returns.
Sure. And I mean, like you talk about like taking your family up to Bonners Ferry and putting an RV on a piece of land. Like it sounds nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the place.
Probably not.
But it's up to you and your family, of course, on that front. But there are better uses for $100,000, I think. So now that you're having these conversations, like it's
now that we've had it together.
Yeah. Now that they've helped you.
Maybe I'll just flip that thing.
I don't know, man.
Do the least amount. Keep it at a low price. People really there's a need for $250,000 homes.
There is, yes.
And if like there's a move-in ready, a house that's almost 2,000 square feet.
Yeah.
In Bonners Ferry, that's below $300,000.
Pretty big house.
It's like why not? Why not just give the market what it needs?
Yeah. Feed the market, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you got fed this deal, right? And again, like when you're analyzing these things, this is all going to be up to your own personal interpretation. Like, do I need the tax write-off? Do I need a big chunk of money? Do I need a rental that I can hold long term? Like, answer these questions yourself and really start to work backwards in the formula. And I think you will find what works because you'll end up funneling yourself into a solution, basically.
True that.
Yeah. So cool. Those are your two projects you got going on.
Yep.
And you got two flips you're putting on the market as well, or that are on the market right now, correct?
Yeah, I had 2 flips that are both under contract and closing very soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be nice I can cash you out of one.
I'm like, I'll be getting a little bit of taste on one of those.
Taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll be able to pay off all my debts.
Yeah.
With those 2 flips. Actually, with just one of them, I'll be able to pay off all my debts. But
that's awesome.
It'll be nice to have a little extra change.
Cool.
In my bank on the other one.
Right. So one of them you got a partner on. Do you have the partner on the other one as well? You got a partner on Medina.
Yeah, I had a partner on Medina, and then the other flip, no,
cool.
I didn't have a partner.
Nice.
And that one I'm making a lot.
Is that the one in Hayden you just bought?
That was one in Rathdrum.
Oh,
it was a little 2-bedroom. It was. I did a video called this boring house.
People love
it.
That.
Like blew up online. I don't know why it blew up, but it's kind of fun to see all that attention.
I get talked to like from my clients. They're just like Nick's video where he talks about the boring house is the best. I'm not even kidding. Like people who you don't know.
What made that so good? I don't know.
It was
I gotta tap into that energy again somehow.
Right. But I think like if you try to force that energy, I don't think it will come. That was just something like you're just like, I bought this house. It's kind of there's nothing special about it.
There's nothing special
and that's kind of what we pitched in the video. And everyone's like, I can't believe you do that to a client's house. I'm like, it was his own flip. But
did I tell you my broker got 2 calls on that over the weekend
because you were
from other brokerages, like trying to say that I'm doing my client a disservice.
Well, he's his own client, so
it's like if you just read the private remarks, you'll see he owns the house.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, okay, goodbye.
I said good day.
I said good day.
Your broker's got your back, though, I think. So.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are at a cool brokership now. So going forward, you got the 2 flips you're doing, possibly the 2 flips under contract. What's next? You got a big parcel you're working on subdividing. We've talked about that before, but any new updates on that thing?
Sure. Yeah, we've been going through the engineer rabbit hole. We're speaking to a third engineer this week.
Okay.
And so we're in that phase. Like we have our application in with the city. It's full. It's complete. And to get an application in with the city is quite a process.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think we've spent about $5,000 or so just getting everything that the city needs. So that application process weeds out a lot of people that aren't really fully serious about doing something like this.
Sure.
Because the city asks for a lot.
Right. And there's a lot of like,
and
you make
they
a
have to
mistake,
send out mailers to the neighbors and all that stuff. And they have to properly notify the public of what's going on.
Gotcha.
So we'll be in April, we'll be having a planning and zoning review.
Cool.
Public review. And then in May is when we have our city council decision on if they're going to annex it or not.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
So it all kind of depends on what happens with these May and April meetings, correct?
Yeah. The April, we already know how that's going to go. They're going to probably approve it. They've already kind of given us a heads up. That's more the city,
Sure.
like because it's what they want. It's in their plans.
Right.
They have no
More
reason to
housing
turn it
and-
down.
Take this
we're going
junker
after
property to
Yeah.
make it look nice, type of thing.
The only thing, if the roads are slightly not aligned where they want to, they may just pitch. But we're going through engineers for this stuff. The only thing that we can possibly run into with the Planning and Zoning Commission is more the placement of the roads and stuff. But that's actually not in review at this point.
Right. Okay.
So I take that back. We're just applying for R2 zoning and giving them an idea of what we want to do.
Gotcha.
But we're not applying for that subdivision yet. Mm-hmm. We're just applying to get into the city annexation.
Gotcha.
With R2 zoning. Mm-hmm. So we already kind of know we're going to fly through the zoning,
Right.
Planning and zoning, and then it's up to the city council if they want to approve or deny it based off political reasons.
For sure. Yeah. Politics get involved with land. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, people show up and they get angry. Mm-hmm. But even though it's what the city wants, it's what the city needs.
Right.
We need more affordable housing.
Yeah.
We have plans to potentially sell it to D.R. Horton, and they have plans to build affordable houses on these small lots.
Cool.
And that's how we get a more affordable market, is by more inventory.
By making
more
houses
affordable.
more affordable.
You got to get a big builder to build affordable housing for people to potentially move into. It's a pretty simple thing that a lot of people get confused about.
Yeah. And this was, I remember when you guys were getting under contract, this was kind of a convoluted mess at the beginning, right?
Oh, sure.
Getting it to closing and getting it to the closing table was kind of a feat.
Yeah, there were 14 liens on this property.
Wow.
14 liens. And at least one sex doll that we know of. Yeah.
One sex doll. You're buying a lot of properties, a lot of sex toys.
Yes, that's my specialty, actually. Sex toys and ladders.
Sex toys and ladders.
It's a board game.
Yeah. I was like,
That's a flipping game.
That sounds like a autobiography for a book, like Sex Games and Ladders, Flipping Your Way to Success by Nick Beveridge.
Instead of shoots and ladders.
Sex toys and ladders. Slide up the sex doll. Whee!
It's an REI board game.
Yeah, and this is one like this is an opportunity that was presented to me. I didn't feel I had the capacity to take it on at the time, but I'm glad you found partners that were like willing to be like, yeah, man, let's go.
Yeah. Well, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
but and the reason why, which you made a very good point, was like, hey, you don't know when you're getting your money back because this could take years.
This thing's got a huge question mark on it, but like the upside is incredible.
The upside's incredible, and it is a risk.
Yeah,
but you're leveraging most of your investment,
right?
So you need to be in shorter term
right? Exactly. But once my IRA gets big enough to just throw $100,000 casually at a deal like that, like absolutely, like if I don't have to pay interest on it and it just comes out of my account, let's talk. You
know what? That is one thing. I'll probably contribute my $7,000 towards my Roth IRA once we have these closings on these two, because I'll have a little extra cash, and then I actually need to figure out what I'm going to invest my money into, because then I'll have $14,000 in that Roth IRA. I'm going to hopefully try to buy a flip with that. I think I can make it work. Cool. I think I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've just been putting in a short-term deals where I'm getting 15, 16% annualized, and that's working pretty decent. Like it's
do you know like your IRA returns, what they were cumulatively in 2024? Do you have a way to figure that out, or have you?
I haven't done the math, but so 2024, I got money back. I think I only got I started it in 2023. I lent it out and I got it back early 2024. I got $600 from Dan.
Okay,
because I had $6,000 and I'm like, I'll give you a $6,000 loan. And I got 10% annualized.
Okay.
And then I gave it to you, and I got through $2,000 or $3,000 off that.
Okay.
I think it was $2,000 because I gave you 13, you gave me 15 back.
Yep. It's pretty good returns there.
Pretty good returns.
All within the same 12 months?
Yeah, and that was within the same 12 months because Dan only had it for like 6 months and you only had it for like 5 months.
And what was the percentage of returns on that?
It ended up being 30% annualized because it was over a 4 or 5 month period, right?
So between those two investments, within 12 months, you got 40% returns.
Yeah, I mean $2,600 in a year, basically.
Yeah, and then is it invested in anything else?
Yeah, I put it back into another investor's deal where I'm invested in Wolf Lodge RV Park.
That's right.
Yeah, and I get 15% for 6 months. So
Nice.
I'm gonna make another $1,300 in 6 months, basically.
Okay.
So like
So
in
an
a total of
18-month
18 months, I made
period.
$4,000, tax
Well,
free.
think about, you made like 55% returns.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. It's
pretty good.
Tax free.
Yeah, tax free.
People strive to make 8% a year.
Yeah. No,
So,
it's
that's pretty cool.
it's doing great. And then with that, I've contributed my $7,000 already. I did that right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
January 1st, I'm like, Happy New Year. I blew a little balloon, and I contributed to my Roth IRA.
Blue balloon.
Yeah. And I contribute to my account.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else I did, which is kind of fun? I signed up for one of these websites to get silver in the mail every month,
Ooh.
$150 worth.
Okay. I would be
And so-
very cautious of that.
No, I did some ChatGPT research to figure out which were the most legit companies, and I went with probably the most legit that gave you 90% of what you're investing.
I remember-
in actual silver.
Last time you bought silver online.
No, I bought a lot of silver online, but that was buying silver from China.
Oh, China.
China silver. It was China. The Chinese gave me the fake silver.
Yeah, those are
Very fake silver.
It was very fake silver for
They
sure.
gave me 80% of my money back and just let me keep all the junk.
Wait, it's junk. Why? Can you ship this back to us?
They're like, how about we just give you most of your money back and you can keep it?
So you lost 20% and got junk.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge deal. It was like, I don't think I spent an incredible amount.
I thought you spent over $1,000 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I only ended up spending maybe $200 in losses, but it was like a shit ton of silver that the kids play with.
Silver, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It seems
$200
like real
for a
silver
kid's
coins.
toy. That's a good deal.
Okay, shut up. I learned my lesson about China.
Right. Okay. So you're
China.
you're on a website and you're buying silver. It's getting delivered to you monthly. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I haven't got my first delivery yet, but yeah, every month I'm going to get approximately $150 worth of silver delivered to me, so I
Okay.
can just put it in my safe. That way, I don't have to intentionally try to save. I want things on autopilot.
Yeah.
And I want to build back up my silver reserves in my safe. And I thought the coolest way to deal with that would just be like something that is not noticeable that comes out of my account monthly.
Yeah.
That can stack like acorns,
Yeah.
like that kind of app. But
Yeah.
it's not like that. It's just $150. You can set it to whatever you want.
Right.
I'm like 150. I won't notice that at all.
Right.
But I will notice every month in the mail getting a little package of silver.
Yeah.
Which will be fun to just put in the safe.
Yeah.
And every month I can just and I know in 5 years there'll be a good amount.
So yeah,
And I can always up that if I need.
right. Are you buying rounds of it? Like, so if it's $150, it's not all going to be in a round, correct?
It's going to be in rounds and like
Grams,
and,
like little
and grams if
Yeah, yeah.
needed for change or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Okay.
We'll
do you-
see.
do you have to
I'll
pay-
let you know. I'll let you know when I get my first.
I'm
maybe
interested in
maybe
this.
I'll show you when I get my first delivery.
The thing, I like and dislike precious metals.
Uh-huh.
I like them because they're a physical, tangible thing that I can like hold in my hand, and I'm like, this is silver. This feels good.
Yeah.
But it's like when it's in my safe, it's appreciating, but barely.
Yeah. What I like about it is like it fulfills my small little need to actually have something in savings.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I do not like money just sitting in a savings account that I can see that I can easily just hit the transfer button
Right.
and invest that.
Yeah.
But when I have physical silver in my safe, I've only taken it twice in my life to a coin shop to cash in.
Yeah.
And both times I've made a profit.
Yeah. I've only taken it to you, and I sold
yeah.
you my silver.
Yeah. But it is for me and my personality, it's the best way to play the Dave Ramsey game and actually put away some money into long-term savings.
Okay.
And I feel like it's just going to be better than the U.S. dollar, just having actual... I have some cash in my
agree
safe,
with you
too.
there. Oh, yeah.
But the U.S. dollar definitely goes down in value every year. Silver doesn't necessarily go down every year.
You don't see it.
It's pretty stable.
you know,
Sometimes it goes up. It's just... I'm more comfortable with a precious metal like silver.
Yeah.
That I think has more multiplying opportunities in the future than gold does.
Sure. Gold's at kind of a high where it's like, how high can it go? But then if you look at house prices to 2021, like how high can it go? And it just kept freaking going.
Well, I also like to think about it this way too. Like, what are the odds that silver will double in the next 10 years? And what are the odds that gold will double?
Yeah.
And I just think, because if you look at silver, like a history of silver's hit $50-$60.
Yeah, it's not there right now.
And it's around 30.
Yeah.
I don't think gold has hit $6,000.
I haven't checked, but I think you're right. I think it stopped at like 49, 45,000 or something like that.
But I just think the opportunity for, for people, because most people buy on emotions, I think, and silver is a commodity that's used in electronics.
Yeah.
Gold is not used as heavily as silver.
You are correct. It's such a scarce resource.
Yeah.
They don't like, let's just throw it in your iPhone. Silver goes in your iPhone, though. And
yeah. So I just think that there's going to be more demand for silver, and it just seems like it might have more multiplying effects than the U.S. dollar.
Sure. I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
Do you have a high yield at all? I forget. We've talked about this before, but I can't remember. No? Mm-mm. And I think like we brought it up on one episode. Like, what if you just funded a high yield with like, $22,000, right? And then you get $100 interest every month, and then you could use that money to go buy silver.
It's just not.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
That those returns are.
They're minimal.
Not
for sure.
as exciting. For me.
Yeah. I mean, when you get, but a 4%,
because what you're doing, and I know that like you're giving it to the bank to make better investments than you.
Of course.
And I feel like I can make better investments with the bank because that's my full-time job.
Right.
My full-time job is to go find returns on money.
Yes, I agree with you.
And most people don't do that. Most people have a full-time job or business that they go to, and their job is not to multiply money.
Right.
It's to get work done.
Yeah, for sure.
And having a high-yield savings account is an awesome option for them because they can make very good returns without trying.
Right.
They just hit a transfer button. With me, it's more active investing.
Hey, and I get that. But the thing is, with my high yield, we've talked about this before, it was like, this is my emergency savings, right?
Yeah.
This is money that's like, okay, cool. An emergency happens, I've got my resources right here.
Yeah.
But my resources are making a little bit, which is better than it sitting in just a normal savings account where I'm making 0.02 or whatever.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not arguing with you
all
on that.
It's different strokes for different folks, for sure.
Yeah. But
So your emergency savings is going to be technically in silver then, correct?
Silver and credit lines.
Yeah, credit lines.
Yep. I have a lot of available credit.
Yeah.
That could always get shut off.
They can always get shut off, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
I've been in positions where I've had no money and it hasn't been that bad.
Yeah. That's true.
Like you're able to figure life out.
Right.
Most of the time.
Yeah,
there's insurance. I have plenty of insurance and plenty of credit lines.
Yeah.
And if all that went away, I know I can still make it to the next day because I've done it before.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just something, you live and you learn these life lessons and you figure out how to live life.
Yeah. Word.
Word.
Anything else we should talk about before we wrap up here?
No, I think this is a good episode. Just kind of a little recap of what you've been up to and your plans going forward. And
should we address the elephant in the room or the spaceman in the room?
Now that you've done it, we have to.
Yeah. We don't have to.
We don't.
Bye, everybody. No, just kidding.
We'll see you later. No. I think it's a cool little story. You're welcome to tell it.
It's okay. Story. So my son, over the weekend, when we had a bunch of people over, he decided he was going to grab some stuff and sell things, and he put a little sign up in the living room that said $1. And he had some stuffed animals around and like some Yoo-hoo drinks, and I'm like, "Ooh, he's like, come buy something."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I think I'll buy this spaceman." He's like, "Oh, that's my companion." And I'm like, "Wait, all these stuffed animals, they're just companions?" He's like, "These are just companions." I'm like, "So I can only buy the Yoo-hoo drinks?" He's like, "Yeah."
That I paid for already?
I'm like, "Well, what if I wanted to buy him?" And he's like, "What if I give you $3?" He's like, "Okay. $3. Sure." So I went and
give him a handshake deal.
Yep. Give him the $3. I grabbed it. But then he's like, "Wait, hold on." He's like, "I gotta have something else too." I'm like, and then I had to give him a cup. I give him like a 7-Eleven cup.
Okay.
As a trade. Yeah. And I'm like, "Okay, we're good." And then like 5 minutes later, I grabbed the companion. You could tell he's a little like, not sure how I feel about this.
Yeah.
I'm like, "This is great." And he's like, you can only have it for a few days. I'm like, wait. Are you saying I just rented this guy? He's like, yeah. I'm like, damn. What a crude businessman.
Yeah. So lesson to be
always
here.
get it in writing, folks.
Yeah. Even if it's your how old's your son? Is he 5?
Yeah, he's 6.
6. Okay. He just turned 6 and anyway. Get a purchase and sale agreement.
Get a purchase and sale agreement. Because apparently I just rented this little guy, so he'll be on our podcast maybe next week. when you see this. Maybe not. I might be out of my lease at that point.
Right. But the cool thing is, since you paid for it and it's now on our podcast, this has became a business write-off for you. As long as you get a receipt for that. You need a receipt.
I created one.
It's $3 for Spaceman decor for podcast.
Yeah. All right, so don't let your children screw you, everybody.
Yeah.
Get it in writing.
Get it in writing, and, if you're negotiating with your kids, the first one to mention price loses.
True.
Make sure you're getting what you pay for. Thank you so much for joining us on the Investorship Podcast. As always, if you've enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube, myspace.com, Google.
LinkedIn.
No. We might have a LinkedIn. I'd have to check.
Truth Social.
Truth. What's that?
That's Donald Trump's social media platform, I think.
Donald Trump has a cryptocurrency out now.
Does he?
He does.
Oh, good for
Trump
him.
coins.
Was there a Melania coin too or something?
I'd have to check. I got notified on Robinhood, like, Trump coin, and it was very expensive, and I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, I'll just buy my Bitcoin.
Okay. All right, everybody. We will see you next week. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for checking out the Investor Shed podcast. If you enjoyed your time, make sure to leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow along on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at The Investor Shed for shorts and promos about each episode. Do you want to be a guest or know someone who has great real estate investing advice and stories? Reach out to us at theinvestorshed@gmail.com.